They marched into battle not with swords alone, but with beads. Whispered prayers echoed louder than war cries. And for those who faced them, it wasn't just soldiers they feared, it was something divine. This is the story of the Rosary, the prayer that became both a shield of faith and a weapon of terror in the medieval world. The origins of the Rosary go far deeper than most imagine. Long before it hung around the necks of warriors, it was the devotion of monks, a way to keep prayer constant in a world ruled by death and chaos. In the 12th century, when Europe was fractured by wars and heresies, a Spanish priest named Saint Dominic began spreading a new form of devotion, one that called on the Virgin Mary herself for intercession. But the Rosary wasn't merely a set of prayers. It was structure, rhythm, and meditation combined, a mental fortress built in a time when survival depended on faith as much as on steel. According to medieval chroniclers, the idea came to Dominic through a vision of Mary. She handed him a string of beads, urging him to use this weapon against evil. And soon, the Marian Psalter -150 prayers, mirroring the 150 Psalms, began spreading through Europe. At first it was just prayer, but then came the wars. During the Albigensian Crusade, Dominic and his followers carried the Rosary as a sign of divine protection. Enemies whispered that they saw strange lights on the battlefield, visions of the Virgin herself watching over those who prayed. For believers, it was proof that heaven was on their side. For their enemies, it was fear itself. By the 14th century, this prayer had become a symbol of defiance. In plague, famine, and war, when every sign felt like the end of the world, the Rosary gave people something to hold. It wasn't just faith, it was hope made tangible. But the moment that sealed the Rosary's legend came in 1571. At the Battle of Lepanto, the Christian fleet faced the powerful Ottoman navy, outnumbered, outgunned, and certain to fall. Pope Pius V called for one thing: prayer. Across Europe, churches filled with people reciting the Rosary in unison. And when victory came against all odds, it was said to be by Mary's hand. October 7th became the Feast of Our Lady of the Rosary, a day that still honors that moment when faith changed the course of history. Even skeptics admit the psychological power was immense. A unified chant, a ritual repeated across continents, it gave soldiers courage and turned fear into focus. In the chaos of war, rhythm and prayer worked like ancient meditation, steadying the mind while the world burned. Modern historians now see the Rosary not only as a spiritual symbol but as an early form of mental conditioning. Studies have shown that repetitive prayer slows the heart rate and reduces anxiety, creating a sense of calm even in mortal danger. Medieval warriors, unknowingly, were using an early form of psychological resilience long before science gave it a name. But for those who faced them, the sight of men walking calmly into battle, whispering "Hail Mary," full of grace, was unnerving. It was the sound of an army that believed it couldn't die. And that is why the Rosary terrified medieval armies. It wasn't the beads. It wasn't even the prayer itself. It was the faith behind it, a belief so strong it could bend fear itself. Even today, echoes of that ancient power remain. Millions still hold those same beads, not to wage war, but to find peace. Yet the essence is the same, a simple chain of words that reminds humanity of something far greater than fear. Because in the end, the Rosary was never just about victory in battle. It was about victory over despair. If you found this story as powerful as I did, make sure to subscribe for more forgotten legends, faith, and history that shaped our world. Because sometimes, the past still whispers. You just have to listen.